Welcome to JMO with Josh and Joe. It is Tuesday, March 7th. And Joe, I have already begun the process of convincing myself that the Saints are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, as true fanatics, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you have to. Once you get a big piece like Derek Carr, sign him for 4 year, $150 million with guaranteed money through 2024, I have to start. Like, I think, in my opinion, we have a Super Bowl caliber roster. We had a great defense last year. It didn't show it because we had fucking Andy Dalton as quarterback for most of the year. And, of course, when the offense can't hold on to the football, the defense is going to look like trash because they're on the fucking field the whole fucking time. I think now that we have a decent offense, we're going to be better.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an upgrade. Like we talk about, being diehard fans. Obviously, I have convinced myself that we are going to make it to the Super Bowl. But realistically, we honestly have put ourselves in the best position as far as the division goes.
I agree. We're going to win the division. I was looking. I started the whole process, and by process, I mean I started watching highlights from Derek Carr. I started looking up nice stats. I'm happy with what I've seen. He's thrown some darts. He actually has a really, really strong arm. He has a very accurate arm. I've seen him throw many accurate passes. And I get it. He had Devontae Adams last year, but he was also throwing to fucking Hunter Renfrow. He was throwing to random people. He wasn't just throwing to Devontae Adams. Mm-hmm. So I think it's gonna be good. Let's see. I want to give a huge thank you to Aaron Rodgers because I believe that Aaron Rodgers holding out helped us because I really do think Derek Carr had interest in going to the Jets. I think he probably would have rather went to the Jets than the Saints, but the Jets were holding out for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was taking his sweet happy time, so finally Derek Carr and his group were just like, fuck it, let's fucking sign with the Saints because I'm sick of waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make up his mind.
Yep.
So huge thank you to Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
The details of the trade: 4 year, $100 million with guaranteed money through 2024. There's a no trade clause. A total of $28.5 million signing bonus. Now that goes through 2027, I believe, which is an iffy. He has a potential out in 2026, and he'll become an unrestricted free agent. We're a win next year type of team. After next year, I don't think we're gonna be. I don't think we're gonna have to start rebuilding.
Mickey Loomis doesn't understand a rebuild. Like, he doesn't actually know what a rebuild is, so he just does anything to win now. He's in a constant win now mode all the time, and salary cap just doesn't mean anything to him. It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. And that's fine. It'll suck here in the next couple of years, but
my thing is what I really did like about this is now that we can kind of build like this. I think this will help with our team building aspect because I really didn't trust the Saints actually going for a quarterback this year. Just the way that we've just botched different on draft night, different scenarios. We've traded the house and then some for McAllister that 1 year, which McAllister wasn't a bad player, but we gave so much for Deuce McAllister.
Dude, we haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning in 1977.
But we don't have the assets or the collateral to make a move for a quarterback this year.
No, we don't. We did exactly what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We did it, and that's look. I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it. This is the best move that the Saints could have done. We're gonna win the division, so we're gonna get into the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We've seen some crazy. Tim Tebow won a fucking playoff game against the Steelers with the Denver Broncos. I've seen some crazy fucking shit happen in the playoffs. So once we get, all we need to do is make it to the playoffs. After that, who knows? Also, Derek Carr is a decent quarterback. He can actually fucking throw the ball. He can actually make great decisions. He's not a fucking just a sad sob story like Andy Dalton is.
He was the best Pro Bowl. He was the best quarterback at the Pro Bowl this year.
He was throwing dimes, dude. Did you see him?
I mean, and we all know that the skills challenge determines who the best quarterback is.
Absolutely.
So, Derek Carr was the best quarterback.
He absolutely was. I'm liking the Saints. We got a couple of let's see. We got some more NFL stuff to get to, and then we'll get to the combine. This will be the big section. The NFL will be a big section of the show. We'll get to some other NBA and basketball stuff. The Lamar Jackson drama. I kind of need to get. We need to touch on that.
It's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, it kind of is, and like it's. I guess I might be the only one who thinks this. I'm definitely like I know the media doesn't think this, but I understand why Baltimore's holding out. I don't think Lamar Jackson is that, like, he's an electric quarterback. He's a freak athlete. I get that. He can't throw the ball. Like, I really don't think he can throw the ball as well as the media thinks that he can, and that's why nobody wants to pay him money. 4 teams already opted out. Like, they're not want the Panthers, the Commanders, and 2 other teams don't want him.
Falcons and Jets.
Exactly. Yeah, none of them want Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And only one of those teams is holding out for another quarterback. That's the Jets holding out for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the Jets. I think it was the Raiders. The Raiders were the ones that.
Oh, it was the Raiders
that were out,
and they really need a quarterback.
Yeah, but Josh McDaniels, I don't think that's his type of quarterback.
No, I agree. I think people thought Aaron Rodgers, but they shot that down real quick. But yeah, he gets the non-exclusive tag. I think, but what that means is that it's the cheaper version of the franchise tag.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for both parties. One, because Lamar Jackson can go out and kind of test the market, see what's out there, see what teams are willing to pay for him, essentially, and they can. It's good for Baltimore Ravens because they can come back and match that. What's not good for the other teams and Lamar Jackson is whoever wants him has to put up 2 first-round draft picks.
Yep,
that's a biggie. So the dollar amount's going to come down because they're going to have to give up that. I believe.
Yeah, but that hasn't stopped teams in the past. Like Russell Wilson, they gave up 3 first-rounders to trade him. Teams that if they really want a quarterback, they're going to go after a quarterback.
I understand that, but the market value it's testing the market value. They're trying to figure out how much he's worth. He's not going to. Teams aren't going to pay max dollar for him if they're also giving away first-round picks.
Yeah,
so I think it's a win for the Baltimore Ravens here.
No, it definitely is, because I think what's going on with the 2 camps is that Lamar Jackson's looking at the market and is like, well, I'm a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. I'm a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. I'm a better quarterback than Russell Wilson is. I need to make more money, and basically what Baltimore's saying is like, hey, no, they screwed up the market. The market is screwed right now. It's going to level itself out, and basically that's what they've come down to. Is this was Ravens being like, hey, see for yourself. See for yourself what the market is.
I agree. And honestly, I would take Lamar Jackson over all those quarterbacks you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
They were just severely overpaid.
Yes,
severely overpaid. And the Ravens see it. I see it. I guess you see it. Nobody in the media fucking sees it. They're like, pay Lamar. No. He wants way too much money. And he's not that good. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not fucking Aaron Rodgers. He's not Drew Brees. He's not worth the money.
Yeah, the only quarterback right now really worth that money is Patrick Mahomes.
But
so
I agree, and maybe Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, but I think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are kind of like they're like tier 2 as far as money goes. I think Patrick Mahomes is tier 1, and he's up there by himself.
Yes,
and then you got your Joe Burrow, your Josh Allen's, and I honestly think Joe Burrow and Josh Allen should get more money than Deshaun Watson, Russ Wilson, and Kyler.
Well, Joe Burrow's definitely solidified that fact. I mean, when you go to when you can take your team to a Super Bowl, like that shows you something. Like obviously, Patrick Mahomes has been able to take them and win it. But Joe Burrow was able to take them to the Super Bowl. See, that would be my knock on Josh Allen right now. I think he's an elite quarterback. I think he does play well, but he hasn't been able to get over the hump and take them to the Super Bowl.
And honestly, you can make the argument that Joe Burrow should have been in 2 Super Bowls in a row. Like, I mean, obviously, like with that holding call take away that holding call at the end, the bad call. who knows?
Yeah.
So, Joe Burrow is definitely worth the money. And especially that first, not last year, but the year before, where he did it with a tattered offensive line. So, Lamar drama. We'll see how it pans out. Again, right off the bat, teams are backing out. Teams are not.
I know.
So we'll see. And I really do. I'm all about players getting paid, but I want players to get paid fairly. I want it to be good for both sides. I think the market was terribly skewed whenever Deshaun and Russ and Kyler got paid. I'm hoping to see that level out.
As a Saints fan, I was very, very concerned, just given the state of the NFC South quarterbacks, that one of them was going to make a big push for them, Atlanta, or maybe Panthers, or you can say Tampa Bay too. But I was actually really scared that one of them was going to do it, but it doesn't appear to be that way.
It seemed like a spot for Atlanta, like Atlanta to grab them possibly, but. Yeah, I guess not. Let's see another quarterback that we need to talk about, because this one just kind of blew my mind. Daniel Jones got fucking paid. How on God's green earth do you throw 15 touchdowns in 1 year and get a $160 million contract?
$160 million
over 4 years. It's more than Derek Carr got.
Yep.
Daniel Jones got paid 4-year, $160 million contract. He only threw 15 touchdowns last year.
I guess he wasn't that off whenever he wanted $45 million a year.
It was weird. Like I don't. It's just, and then they franchise tag Saquon Barkley. I think they should have flipped that.
I think so too.
Right? Am I the only? I'm not. I guess I'm not the only one. But like, I felt like the only one earlier when it happened. I'm like, wait a minute. That's backwards.
It's backwards. Yeah, I mean, because like the thing is like. On any other circumstances, I would say, like, if those were two players that were on other teams, I would say you franchise both of them, because, one, Saquon, you want to approve it deal, like, hey, are you still really healthy, or are you just going to do the same thing that we did the previous 4 years? And B, Daniel Jones, you're going to be like, well, hey, look, that was 1 year, new coach, maybe put into system. Let's see if you really have turned the corner or not. But since they're both on the same team, I just thought the safer bet was going to be Saquon.
I do too. I definitely franchise tag Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, sure. You're gonna it'll take a cap hit, but you'll see what Daniel Jones is next year. Like I highly doubt Daniel Jones is going to be able to, and Brian Dable are going to be able to do the same thing. Like you see how Daniel Jones and Brian Dable work together. Defenses can watch it, and I don't think they're going to have the same year next year. I think you put a giant bet on the Giants, a giant bet on the Giants to lose. They're not going to win.
Yeah.
They're not. I'd be surprised if they came in second in the East. I really do think they could be going third or probably fourth.
Wow.
I really don't agree with this. You couldn't tell. Another quarterback that got paid. This one, I'm talking about the Geno Smith. He got a 3-year, $150 million deal. Initially, right off the bat, my knee-jerk reaction was, what the fuck is Seattle doing? Then I took a step back, and I really looked at it. It's not that, it's most of that money is going in the first year. Mm-hmm. And after that, they pretty much are done. It's essentially like they franchise tagged them with a contract.
Yeah.
Through via contract, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I boiled it down to, and I thought about it, and I'm like, they won't do it, but they could still draft a quarterback with that fifth. They got the fifth pick.
The fifth pick from Denver.
Yeah, they got the fifth pick from Denver. They could still draft a quarterback. I don't think they will. It just doesn't seem like a Pete Carroll type of thing to draft a quarterback in the first round. But hey. I mean, they have the freedom to do whatever they want after this year. You know what I'm saying? So initially I didn't like it. Now I love it.
Yeah. No, it's going to be more like with what we've seen from Pete Carroll in the past. He's probably going to be just solidify the team. He has a real big need for pass rushing. Mm-hmm. So it looks like, and especially those go off the board pretty early. So Obviously those 2 first-round picks, kind of one of them's going to be pass rushing. Yeah, it's going to be more like Pete Carroll to, wait until, he finds some diamond in the rough on the 3rd or 4th round for a quarterback who's just going to take over and, do its thing.
Classic Pete Carroll. And I'm not going to lie. I was watching the combine. The edge rushers this year are stacked. I think there's really good edge rushers and outside linebackers. I think those 2 positions, and they're kind of one and the same almost. You can they're almost interchangeable. I think there's a lot of great quality candidates, especially up at the top.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think he's going to go with a pass rusher. Maybe solidify. You know how Pete Carroll loves his defenses.
Yep.
But yeah, you like the signing. What do you think about it? It's
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I think. Excuse me. At any time that you can put yourself in a position Geno Smith did well in the system. It's not like, he came in and he seemed like he had control of it. Of the system and everything. So that basically puts yourself as a franchise to be like, all right, hey, let's build pieces around him. Let's build other parts of the team. And let's say for whatever instance, things don't pan out or he doesn't take the next step further. Hey, then you bring in a new quarterback, whether from the draft or from free agency, who's got an awesome team around him. Mm-hmm. And then you can, obviously that's your Super Bowl window right there.
Hey, they went to the playoffs, and they did it without winning the division, which means that they were better than all the other wild card contestants out there.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the product of a bad division.
Exactly, like the Saints last year, or like the Bucks last year. They went to the playoffs just because the NFC South was just it was toilet water. It was terrible. Let's see. We got Calvin Ridley got reinstated. That's going to be fun. Jaguars. You want to talk about good young quarterbacks? Trevor Lawrence is going to be fun. He gets an extra weapon. I'm pretty pumped about that.
That's such an underrated, under the radar move or news right now.
Yes, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah,
and I think that's on purpose by the NFL.
Yeah,
because they fucked up.
They messed up. Obviously, it was way too long of a suspension, but I don't know. It's keeping Jaguars. I think as a dark horse for next year. Ooh, we've been talking about that. Maybe we've been talking about how last year was a prime year for him, and this I think is a dark horse as a Super Bowl title contender.
Put a future on them to go to the Super Bowl. That would be.
I'd tell you what. I'll take a look into it.
Nice odds. Yeah. While you're doing that. The reason why I think the suspension was too long, the suspension might not have been too long. It's a bad look when you have players getting suspended for only 4 games for beating the shit out of their wives and their girlfriends. So it really just shows that the NFL just cares about money. They don't really care about anything else. It's a bad look. So, again, I think this is going to fly under the radar because the NFL wants it to. They're not going to popularize it or publicize it because it's a bad look. It's a bad look. So, let's see. Did you find it?
Yeah, I just pulled it up. They're plus 2,500.
I like those odds. I mean, I thought it was that's pretty good. That's a lot.
Now that's Super Bowl outright.
Oh, winning the Super Bowl?
Winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's I like those odds. I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl outright. I doubt they will, but
let's say all right. So conference winners, to go to the Super Bowl, they're plus 1,400.
That sounds more about right. I'm not mad. I'd still put throw maybe $100 on it.
See what it does.
Throw something out there. Let's see. I got a couple more things. Chicago. This is a side note. The Chicago Bears, how they tested for prospects. They made them play darts and mini golf.
Really?
Yeah, and they analyzed them while they're throwing darts and playing mini golf. I don't know what you would do there. I guess see if they're still competitive even when it comes to trivial things.
My question is this what they did whenever they were when they drafted Mitchell Trubisky?
That man was probably the best mini golf player they've ever seen. Mm-hmm. And oh man,
darts! They thought he was the most accurate quarterback out there,
dude. Oh yeah, he was hit the bullseye every time. Matt Nagy was probably like, "Oh my gosh, did you see his dart score?" It's like, Matt, there's more things to being a quarterback. No, darts.
Dude, darts is a perfect way to analyze their accuracy.
So I thought that was funny. Quick question: who would win in a fight, AJ Brown or Juju Smith-Schuster?
Oh, AJ Brown.
I agree.
I got my money straight on AJ Brown.
I agree. The Instagram messages were kind of funny. I love how that just goes public, like real quick. Like people just like they screenshot it and just throw it out there.
I'm just never going to bet on a TikToker to win a fight. I'm sorry. That's just that I'm not putting my money there.
It's probably a safe bet. Last thing I have is the Cowboys tag Tony Pollard. They want to sign him to a multi-year. They still have till July to do so. This is the first year that in Zeke's contract where they don't owe him guaranteed money. I say you punt Zeke. Get Zeke the fuck out of there. Tony Pollard is a number one back. Zeke didn't do anything last year. Get this. Tony Pollard, guess how many yards per rush attempt he had?
How much?
5.94. That man was getting 6 yards a carry last year. He was number one. And that was among running backs with at least 150 attempts. Mm-hmm. Number two is Christian McCaffrey. That man, he's a number one back.
He is.
And he punishes people. Like, so I think they're obviously sold on Dak. I don't really understand it too much. Maybe Dak blew Jerry Jones in the office or something. He liked it. I don't know. But Jerry and Stephen Jones really love Dak Prescott. So they're sticking with him. Great compliment would be Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I think so. But is Jerry Jones going to break up with Zeke?
Well, again, this is the no guaranteed money year. The first year where they're not they don't owe him guaranteed money. So Jerry Jones at his core is a businessman.
That is true. But I felt like he seemed like he was giving excuses. He was saying how like Zeke was playing with a hurt knee last year or something like that, which honestly I don't even remember much of a knee injury from Zeke. So I just felt like that was kind of excuses. I don't know if he's ready to move on from Zeke.
Oh, Jesus, I don't understand. He has a love affair with players.
Yep.
All right, you got anything else before we go into the combine?
I think that covered everything that I had for him.
Okay. All right, NFL Combine. This was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. We had might as well get to the biggest news coming out of it. I think Anthony Richardson, his draft stock was the highest to skyrocket. He broke some records. It was fun. It was fun. It's always fun, and it just makes that smokescreen that we talked about last week even just cloudier.
Yeah,
like other teams can't see shit now because they got him going like the number 3 quarterback in like they obviously they were like smoke screening him number 1, but they actually legit have people that are saying he might be the 3rd quarterback to go off the board behind CJ Stroud and Bryce Young.
When you can like have the scouts and like general managers in the front offices ignore your college production and just ooze over your athletic ability from the combine, like you had a damn good combine.
You easily one of the best combines, and he probably had one of the best combines by a player, just all around because he had he set the record for vertical. I think he set the record for 40 time. And I think he was like the top 2 on the broad jump, right?
He was the 4th best in the 40 for the 4th best in the 40 out of quarterbacks. Best vertical with 48.5 inches out of any quarterbacks, and he had the best broad jump of 10 foot 9 inches.
Oh no, he was third in the 40-yard dash. We had Reggie McNeil and Robert Griffin in front of him. But I mean, a 4.43, it's getting it.
Yeah,
it's getting it. How about Max Duggan talking about 40 times? 4.52. I did not know he was that fast. Max Duggan. Sorry.
I was like, Dugan. Who's Dugan?
I know,
he was Dugan it.
One of my buddies from college, his name was Dugan.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Max Duggan, 4.52. That's pretty fast.
That's moving it.
Let's put it this way. That's way faster than what I thought. Back to Anthony Richardson. Dude's got a cannon. He could launch the ball. It was wild. He was just chucking it. Accuracy leaves a little bit to be desired. Decent footwork. He's athletic. He could turn into a pro style quarterback. I mean, like, I don't think he will, but he definitely did enough, like you said, to make all the GMs think that he's a number one quarterback.
Yeah. The thing with him is, like, he's basically like a replica of Cam Newton, the second coming of Cam Newton, like with his size and his arm strength and just the way he can run.
Just a little shorter.
There was a couple of things, but he literally is. That's what, a lot of comps are going to right now. But I think he is, I love that raw ability and athletic ability from him, but I think he's the perfect quarterback to be redshirted. And before, people start yelling at me like, "Oh no, Anthony Rich, he could be starting with day one." I think he's a prime candidate because when a lot of these quarterbacks in the first round, especially that get drafted, and they don't have the college production, and they try to translate it into the NFL, like sometimes initially it gets the game comes a little bit too fast for them.
First year jitters.
Yes, and the thing is like, hey. Like, you can even make the case, like, Patrick Mahomes had a redshirt year, and look what he's doing. I think this
Aaron Rodgers had, 3 redshirt years.
Exactly.
And by redshirt years, we mean, they just sat out.
Some other quarterback started the year before him. That way they can come in and learn the system.
We like college football a lot.
Exactly. So I think Anthony Richardson, and I could say the same case for Will Levis too. I think Will Levis hasn't had the production in college. I think he needs to sit out a year, go to a franchise, draft him, but have somebody else start in front of him. And I think it would be beneficial for both of those quarterbacks to have sit out 1 year, learn the system, and I think they can get it from there.
We'll get to Will Levis. I think he's going to be up next. But I think Anthony Richardson is a boomer bust. He was definitely the combine crush of the year this year. It's all or nothing with him. And I agree. I think it would help if he sat out a year or two, maybe even 3. But the way today's NFL is, chances of that happening or not. They did, like, NFL GMs and owners get their hands on a new toy, they want to play with it immediately.
Oh, of course, of course.
But now that you brought up Will Levis, let's talk about him. He actually had a good combine. I think his draft stock went up because of it. He seemed pretty accurate. He had decent footwork. He has a nice little release. What was I gonna say about him? Oh shit, I can't find it. One of the knocks on him was he changes up his throwing style for different throws. So like on an out route or a down and in, he'll throw it one way, which is nice. His short passes were good, but when he throws like a post route or a fade, it's a little he switches it up and it's not as fluid. That was a big knock on him. Other than that, he looked pretty good. His 40 times and everything weren't like eye popping, but
yeah, no, the combine's good for him. He was able to show off his attributes, which is his highlight. That's basically why he's making himself into a first round top 10 conversation right now, is because of his ability and his attributes. Mm-hmm. So like he's the scout or the scouting combine was a perfect place for him.
Yeah.
And I guess to divert just a little bit, does it seem like these guys, and I think it's just a product of like how much preparation people are doing nowadays, they're like really good at this combine stuff now.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
The players were really, really good. It almost seemed like they were better than most players in previous drafts just because how good they performed.
I agree, and it's a great point. I think they it's almost like everything. Like they need new ways to find an edge, and I think that they see how people's draft stock, like Robert Griffin III, his draft. I remember when he came into the league in 2012, I believe. Mm-hmm. His draft stock went sky. I mean, he was already one of the best. He won the Heisman at Baylor and everything, and then he just outperformed everybody in the combine, and it solidified him as the number one draft pick. People see players, especially players like Anthony Richardson, they see that your draft stock can go straight up with this combine. So I think they do try and perfect it. I like the new fade to the corner of the end zone throw they implemented this year.
Oh yeah, the goal line fade.
Yeah, the goal. I don't know if they implemented it this year, but it's one of the newer ones.
I think they implemented it last year, but last year was the first year because they talked about CeeDee Lamb excelling at it.
Yeah. Let's get to C.J. Stroud. I don't know why people are putting Bryce Young as the number one quarterback. C.J. Stroud is the best quarterback in this class.
Really?
I think so. Did you see him at the combine? He was so fucking accurate. He was his release is perfect. His footwork is amazing. He had pinpoint accuracy. Like the only like downside was the deep ball, and he got better and better with each throw that he threw. Like the first two throws weren't that great, but the third and fourth, bombs.
Reminds you of a reminisce of Deshaun Watson, Michael Vick. I had to do that one.
I don't know. I think he was trolling people, but if he needs a new publicist, because I don't care if you're trolling people or not. That was terrible.
Yeah,
that was really bad.
Yeah,
like don't. Yeah, you're who you look up to is Deshaun Watson and Mike Vick. Eesh. That's tough. Let's see. I got one more thing on the quarterbacks. Or no, I got a couple more things. Stetson Bennett increases draft stock. I don't think he'll go in the first round. I think he'll go in like the third round. Still,
I didn't see a lot of. I mean, I know people thought he did really good. Yeah, but I didn't see a lot of zip on that ball. You know, and that's the thing. I don't think he put up like amazing numbers like Bryce Young did for Alabama to justify like his size and. You know, I don't know. Just
there's a reason why he didn't go pro after the Georgia won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Bryce Young is 5'10", 204 pounds. That man got so fat for the measurements.
Yep.
He was not playing at 204 pounds. I'm sorry. I mean, you watched almost every game you watched a lot of college football last year. Did he look like he was 204 pounds when he was playing for Alabama?
No, he did not. But Alabama was botching the books a little bit on his height. But so he basically turned into a bride that was too small for her wedding dress and just started like stuffing her face with food.
It's the opposite of the problem I have. And I feel like I'm in most people's shoes. I put on so much weight whenever I eat the tiniest little bit of food. Mm-hmm. It's so difficult. And I work out every day. I've been doing 2-a-days for the last 2 weeks, and I actually put on weight. It's miserable. He has 9 3/4 inch hands. He's basically Kyler Murray right now.
Yep.
Kyler Murray had 9 1/4 inch hands, 200-something pounds, 206 pounds, 5'11", 5'10"3/4 or something.
Yep.
He's Kyler Murray. Again, he wasn't playing at that weight, so he won't be like Kyler Murray in the NFL, but he will throw in T-Town. He didn't throw at the combine. I don't know if that hurt him or not. I really don't.
Throwing at the combine? No.
Not throwing at the combine. He'll throw it in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be able to see him there. Last thing I have. My surprise quarterback of the combine was Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA.
Really?
They call him the DTR.
Yeah, DTR.
Yeah, that's a great name. That might be part of it. But he was on point. He was very accurate. I like his throw style. He's got like a baseball throw. like almost like a pitcher. And he was very accurate. He ran a great 40 time. I don't remember exactly what it was.
He's a fast quarterback.
And they were talking about it. I mean, like, he still has to grow as a quarterback, but I think he turned my head. Let's put it this way. I don't know if he turned a lot of people's heads, but he turned my head. I like DTR now. I'm a big DTR guy. He has a very strong arm. He was tossing them. He was tossing the deep balls very far, and he had almost a 70% completion percentage last year.
He had a long career at UCLA. Played under Chip Kelly, who's probably implemented some NFL concepts into the offense over there. So that definitely helps out. At worst, I think he's definitely a long time backup who can back up a lot of these dual threat quarterbacks, so that way they don't have to change their offense to him.
And might get a Geno Smith type of shot one day.
Maybe.
I don't know. I liked him. He surprised me. Let's get to the running backs real quick. Besides like Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm not like too high on this class. You know who I do like? My big surprise.
Who's that?
The Tulane running back.
Oh, Tajay Spears.
Yeah. I like him. I know I'm a little biased because he's a homie, but yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be decent. He had a good combine.
Yeah.
So Zach Evans, Tank Bisbee, and Zach Carbonet are good. They'll be 3rd and 4th round draft picks.
Yeah, which it could be some steals.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I think that's where the prime running backs are. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, if you've noticed, like you have your Leonard Fournette and Zeke Elliott's, but your Alvin Kamara's come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and Devon Achane is really fast.
Yeah. So this might not be like a top-heavy class, for the running backs, but I think there's definitely some good ones. I mean, Tank Bigsby had a long career at Auburn and was very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Plus, his name's Tank.
Yeah, exactly.
A guy with the name Tank should be a defensive lineman. That's all I'm gonna say.
A defensive tackle, defensive lineman. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's still a cool name.
Yeah.
It doesn't scream very fast though.
No, it doesn't scream very fast, but hey, you need those maulers, to make room for the speedsters.
So what did you think about Bijan Robinson?
I like him. I don't know if he's a little overhyped as a running back.
There's no way Philadelphia Eagles are going to take him at number 10. Like, that's where Todd McShay has him going right now, and I'm just thinking to myself, absolutely not. He'll go the bottom 3rd of the 1st round, if that. Like, I think that's his ceiling, is number 20 to 31.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of. I feel like he's just more of a product of. I don't know. I was watching this highlight tape, and I think he's good. I think he's the best running back of the class, but I don't think that's saying much, just given the class. I don't like the talent or as much with the, from the class.
I'd almost rather Jahmyr Gibbs. And that's solely because he's an Alabama running back. That's it. Like he did look good. He looked good. He was great for Alabama last year. He looked good at the combine. I just like you think about Alabama running backs and yeah.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs honestly is like is a reminiscence of Alvin Kamara, and I think he's got that ability. He can play fluidly as a receiving back and a power back. I really do like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot in this draft as well. Mm-hmm. But I think Bijan Robinson, he's gonna be good. I don't think he's gonna be great.
I think he secured the number 1 running back spot. That was my notes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's move on. Do you got anything else on the running backs?
That's about it.
Let's do the wide receivers. Okay, so I guess Quentin Johnston he's the number 1. Everybody's taking him off the board first. Which I mean, dude, he's nasty. He's fucking disgusting. He was great for TCU last year. Mm-hmm. I'm a big Jalen Hyatt guy. I like Hyatt. I love it. He's like he last year he was just Hendon Hooker just chucked it to him and was just like, fuck it, he's down there somewhere.
He can absolutely take the top off of defense.
Yes. I think he should go number 1. Jordan Addison, it was kind of disappointing. He didn't really do much. His back was tight, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, but USC is always good for one really good wide receiver every year. I think Jordan Addison's going to be pretty good in the NFL. I don't know if he's going to be like great. You know.
I mean, he did great production at two different teams. Had a good career at Pittsburgh, and then finished it off at USC. So I don't know. I think he's good. I think there's some other better running backs or wide receivers in this class.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my biggest question mark is Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a great combine. Now, he is coming off an injury. I think an injury. I think last year he did the Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Do you remember Jamar Chase?
Yep.
After the 2019 year, he just kind of basically said he was injured all of 2020 and didn't play. I don't think Jamar Chase was injured. I think he just wanted to hold out. He didn't want to get injured.
Yeah.
He didn't actually want to get injured. I think that's what Jackson Smith and Jigba did last year. So he's got great tape from 2021.
Yep.
That man was nasty in 2021. So if they need to, they can just look at that. He had a bad combine. I
don't know how bad it was.
Maybe I might have exaggerated it. It wasn't a good combine. Let's put it. I'll keep it at that. I don't know. The nagging injury thing was. I don't think he's actually injured. So I think he should go really, really high. I think whoever gets him is going to steal him because he's not going to go as high as he should.
I will say this. He did get some high praise from Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, who last year both said he was the best wide receiver at Ohio State when they were there.
Right. Which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I said, 2021, he had some nasty highlights.
Yes.
And that's saying a lot because Chris Olave is nasty and so is Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. last year kind of stole the show. He's nasty. Did you see he was playing in Louis Vuitton cleats in an Apple Watch?
No.
Yeah, he had one of the games. I can't remember which game it was. He was wearing Louis Vuitton cleats and an Apple Watch. It's like, all right, that doesn't make any sense.
That man's straight money.
Straight cash, homie. Last thing I have for wide receivers is wasn't looking great for our boy Kayshon Boutte.
Nope.
Not looking too great. I think does he have an attitude problem?
Yeah, he's got off the field issues.
He's got a little bit of an attitude problem. Was he the one at that sex party?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So he's just horny. Okay.
Yeah.
He went to Indianapolis to go to the strip clubs, but he forgot that he actually had to go to the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe him and John Morant were partying. Oh no, I guess John Morant was in it was in Denver. But he did a little too much blow, fucked too many strippers, and forgot he had the combine.
Yep.
We'll go with that. What else you got on the wide receivers?
That's about it. I think. Yeah, that was it on the wide receivers.
Okay. What do you think about Jalen Hyatt? Are you with me on that one, or do you think he'll be like second or third or fourth or fifth of the receivers?
I think he'll be probably a second round pick.
Second round?
I think he's a second round pick. I think people are gonna like how he can take the top off of the defense. But I mean, he really had that 1 year production, from out of Tennessee. So they might want to. They might be a little hesitant to jump the gun.
Right. All right. Well, let's get to the tight ends. I got just a couple of points on this one. My main point is I always look at the vertical.
Vertical.
So this is how I tell which tight ends had really good combines and which didn't. Zach Kuntz. That man from Old Dominion, baby. That's my surprise tight end of the year.
Of the year?
Yeah. It's not saying too much, but it's basically what I think of tight ends. Just I keep reverting back to Jimmy Graham for the Saints. Mm-hmm. It's just you catch touchdowns in the end zone, and you have to jump higher than everybody else. That's it. Or you have to be higher than everybody else.
Yeah.
And I don't mean Josh Gordon smoking weed. Darnell Washington, I think he was probably realistically the best tight end in this draft class, which is wild because he was the second. He wasn't even the best tight end at Georgia.
I think that's what is appealing about him is that teams understand that Brock Bowers is just a special talent, and we probably didn't see the full potential from Darnell Washington.
I agree,
and especially with a guy that size, and blocking's not an issue for him.
Mm-hmm.
So basically they were just trying to figure out if he could catch, and he proved that he can catch.
He can definitely catch.
He can catch the ball.
I think he caught every single one, right? Or no, he didn't.
Well, he had that one-handed catch, which didn't officially count because the second foot was out of bounds. But I mean, come on now.
He got hands.
He caught it with one hand. That's basically what the scouts are looking for.
Yeah, exactly. The other one I had Sam Laporta. He's undersized, but he ran very well, and he's probably not going to be great, but he's an Iowa tight end, and the Iowa tight ends Iowa has a history of producing good tight ends.
Yep.
You got your T.J. Hawkinson, Dallas Clark, Noah Fant, Tony Moeki or whatever the fuck his name was. I can't remember. He played for Jacksonville. I can't remember. Oh no, I think the Chiefs.
George Kittle.
Was Kittle from Iowa? No way.
Yep.
So that just proves my point even more.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I was right there with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And George Kittle. So yeah, Iowa produces some pretty good
tight end talent.
Tight ends. Yeah. The other one I had was Will Mallory. The guy from Miami. He just jumped high and ran fast.
Yeah.
He was really good. I mean, he's a freak athlete. Other than that, that's all I got for the tight ends.
Tight ends actually are a pretty good group this year. I've heard multiple sources that there's going to be multiple tight ends in the first round.
Really?
Yeah. They're a pretty talented group.
Like probably Kincaid. Kincaid will probably go first round. He was
the guy from Notre Dame.
No, that guy, he had a bad combine apparently.
Yeah, but I don't think it hurt his status too much.
No? Okay.
No.
They had a couple of Notre Dame guys had bad combines. I was really happy to see that. That was great. So George Kittle did go to the University of Iowa. There you go. Add that to it. You got anything else on the tight ends?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's do the last thing. I'm going to do defensive linemen and linebackers. I'm going to put them together. Okay. I used to think that the best athletes in the entire world are NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I think the best athletes in the entire world are outside linebackers and defensive ends. These guys are absolutely freak athletes for their size.
Yes.
How on God's green earth did Nolan Smith run a 4.39 at 6'2", 238 pounds?
You know what he reminds me of, like with his combine and his draft stock right now?
What?
He reminds me of Travon Walker last year.
Oh, yeah.
Basically what I have is awesome combine, freak athlete, and from a big time school that had, good production.
Yep.
But good production like Georgia.
Yeah.
And, so that's exactly what he's reminding me of right now. But, yeah, that was insane.
What do you think is going to happen with Jalen Carter? Because he's like number 15 right now on Todd McShay's board, and he's a top 5 talent, easy.
Oh, I've heard sources that said he is the best player in the draft right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Above Will Anderson?
Yeah, talent wise, I've heard that. So basically, when you have a guy that's that good, and something like that happens, people are doing their homework.
Gotcha.
The person that does the best homework and the most amount of homework is gonna get him.
Okay. Do you think Pete Carroll might take him at number 5, or does he not? You don't think Pete Carroll is a gambler?
I'm just trying to see what kind of history he's had with players like that.
The only person really I could think of is Marshawn Lynch, but he wasn't even that.
But he didn't even draft him. He got him out of Buffalo.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a Pete Carroll move to gamble on a guy like that.
Yeah. And I think he needs pass rush instead of Jalen Carter can do both, but I feel like he's more of a run stopper.
Who drafted Laramie Tunzel?
Laramie Tunzel, I thought that was Miami.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, I feel like it was Miami.
Okay, well, Miami will probably draft him, but probably not. Let's see. I didn't really look at the defensive linemen and linebackers too much, but Will Anderson's a fucking freak.
I will say this.
I saw his.
Will Anderson is a freak. He's great, top graded out of the NFL Combine. Mm-hmm. So and he solidified himself. He's the first non-quarterback taken off the draft.
Yeah. I agree. Our boy BJ Ojolari had a good combine.
Yep.
His draft stock went up. Who was it? The other guy. Ali Gay did well, and I can't remember his name. Whatever. LSU's not gonna have a good show out there.
Jaquilin Roy.
No, it was I can't remember his name. Either way, LSU's not gonna have a great showing at this draft. It'll be a lot of 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th round draft picks.
There might be some second round.
No, I agree. I think most of them are gonna go in the 4th through 7th rounds.
Yeah.
And then with the cornerbacks, so like the tight ends, I look at only verticals for tight ends. I look at only 40 times for cornerbacks. And that's how I determine who's the best cornerback. So DJ Turner II from Michigan, best cornerback out there.
Actually, it was funny. A lot of people were really turned off to him at first because he was a smaller guy. I think 5'9", 170 pounds or something like that. Mm-hmm. But when he flashed that 4.26 out there, it turned some heads.
4.26. That's insane. That's John Ross time.
Yeah, fastest one in this draft. Yep. Fastest person in this draft. That's booking it.
Keely, is that how you say his name? Keely Ringo.
Keely Ringo. Yeah.
Keely Ringo. He's pretty good. He ran a 4.36, and same with Hodges Tomlinson, 4.41. This is just me, my dumb brain. If you have the best 40 time, you're going to be the best cornerback. That's just hands down how I think. That's how my brain works. So.
There's other indicators. Of course. I like watching the gauntlet. I don't know if you remember the gauntlet with the wide receivers, defensive backs, tight ends that they go through where, they start off with a 180 degrees catch from one quarterback, another 180 degree catch from another quarterback, and then they go down the field, and there's different quarterbacks throwing from each side that they got to catch the ball.
Yeah,
I think that you can really decipher like good athletes from like great athletes from the good athletes in that gauntlet.
It's a tough drill.
It is.
It really shows like the skill of the players, especially with their hands.
Yes. And the fluidness of their their movements, because these guys are getting really good at this 40-yard dash. They know how to do the track start. They're practicing the straight line speed, but this shows you game time speed.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different story.
And it also because it simulates like what it is like during the play, because you're not with the 40-yard dash, you're only focused on one thing. During the game, you're focused on 100 things at one time.
Yes,
and then that helps simulate that. I don't think I saw this. I mean, this is the only thing I'm going to talk about the offensive line, but I don't think the offensive lineman should have to do the 40-yard dash. Did you see that guy pull his hamstring? I forget who it was. It was a big offensive lineman that pulled a hamstring doing a 40-yard dash. Why on God's green earth do the offensive linemen need to do a 40-yard dash?
It's been a good indicator for offensive tackles, but as far as guards and centers, no.
No, they just do the 10-yard dash, the 10-yard split, or the 20-yard shuttle. That's all they really. None of those offensive linemen are ever more than 10 to 15 yards down the field, anyways.
Yeah,
like that. The 40-yard dash does not need to be done by fucking offensive linemen. I'm out on that. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a pretty good combine. It was very entertaining. Like you said, I think these players are perfecting the combine.
Yes.
We have got these, and it was nice to watch people throw a football and catch a football. You know what? It wasn't like there was any contact or anything like that, but there was no football on. We had some type of football.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice. But yeah, combine was fun. You got anything else on the combine before we get to OT-DISH?
I think that's about it. I do like one of the players that stood out to me was Jartavius Martin out of Illinois. Just looks smooth in his movements.
Who is that?
He's a defensive back, more of kind of like a safety. And it just I don't know. I think his stock really went up this during the combine. I heard there was some chatter that there was some good things about him. I think he's going to be a big time ball player.
Someone to keep an eye on. All right, well, let's get to OT-DISH. Let's see. I'll start. In 1988, on this day in sports history, 1988, Jim Abbott, the one-handed pitcher, wins the 58th James E. Sullivan Award. That is for the most outstanding athlete at the collegiate or Olympic levels. Jim Abbott. I forgot I remember hearing about him back in the day, but I forgot he only had one hand.
One hand.
Pitching. Yeah, pitcher.
All right. And so my first one, in 1857, baseball decides 9 innings constitutes a official game, not 9 runs.
Imagine. What were you going to say?
I was going right the same direction as you were on this. Well, I'm curious what sparked that on.
I'd probably, because you see games that end in like 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine like if you waited until those teams scored nine points.
Yeah. Was it? Do you think it was 9 points between both of them, or first team that got to 9 points?
I think it was the first team to 9 points. That would make most sense, right? Because actually, it would make sense either way because 9's an odd number. It could be 5-4.
Yes.
I think in my opinion, I think it's the first team to 9.
First team to 9. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad they did that because they did game's long enough.
I was about to say they've already in today's game they added a batter's clock,
especially like with the way the TV stations work nowadays. It's unpredictable how long those games will go. Mm-hmm. It could go 1 inning.
Yeah,
it literally could just be 1 inning and that's it, or it could be 16 innings. How could you do the TV programming around that?
Yep.
Anyways, in 1954, Russia wins their first international ice hockey competition. I think that's too late. You're a cold weather country. You should have won one way earlier than that.
Yeah.
Boo Russia.
Boo Russia.
Boo Russia.
I think there's a lot more to boo about Russia, but that's neither here nor there. All right, 1930, Georgetown High of Chicago defeats Homer 1-0 in basketball.
In basketball?
In basketball.
Holy shit! There was a 1-0 game.
1-0.
What? Wait. What? This was when in 1930?
1930.
How? Oh my gosh! This is a college game.
I think this was a high school game, but still. Still 1 point. Somebody made a free throw.
We have middle schoolers that are better. Yeah, and he didn't even make both of them. He just made one.
He just made one.
Oh, that's terrible. That would be the worst game ever.
I know, right?
All right. This is on this day in history. A little history lesson. In 1936, Adolf Hitler breaks the Treaty of Versailles by sending troops into the Rhineland. It essentially, World War II didn't start till 1939, but it essentially started World War II. That's what got the ball rolling. All the Axis countries were coming together. The Allies came together. We're like, all right, this guy's a fucking lunatic, or this guy's trying to. Clearly, it was demilitarized, and then he moved his troops in. So he said that essentially is what started World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell receives a patent for the telephone in the U.S.
That's crazy. 1876, he was inventing the telephone.
Little did he know what it was going to turn into this baby right here.
Yeah, good old computer in your hand.
I've got a little bonus one. 1933, the board game of Monopoly was invented.
1933 on this date.
On this date.
Greatest board game of all time.
Yep.
I think. All right, there's OTDISH. Let's get to the NBA. Congratulations again. I know we said this last week and the week before. NBA is doing a great job with these matchups. Like, just putting the matchups that they have on Saturdays and Sundays, they're doing just a fantastic job with it. Let's get to the biggest news. Ja Morant. Yo. What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? I don't. First of all, when I first saw it, I'm like, all right, he held a gun on Instagram Live. What did he do wrong? There was nothing he did wrong. Then I read into it, and like the Colorado gun laws are different. Also, it's NBA policy. You're not supposed to bring guns with you whenever you travel. So he technically was not supposed to have a gun there, and he flashed it on Instagram Live.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, if you're gonna brag about a gun, don't have it look like a fucking 22. Like that was the smallest gun you could have ever flashed.
Yeah.
That was a little pussy ass fucking gun. What the fuck are you doing? The fuck was that?
And especially, he already had that news about the drive-by, after
lasers,
one of the games.
Then beating up a 17-year-old. Mm-hmm. Oh, he even went out and got a gun after he punched the 17-year-old. He's I think he's just an attention whore. I think he gets mad when things don't go his way. He's a little brat.
A lot. I mean, there's some players out there that I don't know. There's just the fame gets to them. The fame, the money, and everything.
It gets to him. Antonio Brown, I think I think he's a product of concussions and money. I think he got fucked up when he got hit in the head by Vontaze Burfict. I think that really fucked him up, and then he kept getting hit. But I think he was a product of money. I think the richer he got, the crazier he got. And yeah, you see it all the time with athletes. They make their fame, they make their money, they get their fame. They turn into different people. Don't flash a little pew-pew gun. It's a little fucking they look like an airsoft gun, dude. Come on. What the fuck are you doing? Also, let's see. Do you have anything else on the Ja Morant drama?
No, that's about it.
The Celtics they seem like they're kind of imploding right now. They're on a 3-game losing streak. Both of those games, or all 3 of those games, they have had a lead in each of those games of at least 14. They had a 14-point lead against the Nets, a 15-point lead against the Sixers. No, the Knicks, and then a 21-point lead against the Cavs. Was it the Cavs or the Nets? I might have that backwards. But anyways, they've had giant leads.
Yeah.
And giving them all up. They're not happy in Boston. The fans booed them.
Yeah, the Jaylen Brown mask not working. Also, Grant Williams probably should not be so talkative. I think his
dude, they got directly into his head.
Yes, yeah, he needs to stay away from the trash talk. Just focus on the game.
Yeah, he's an 86% free throw shooter.
And missed both.
Jeez, it was so great. The Cavs, they kept walking in between the lines. They kept like acting like they had no idea what was going on. Oh, they were fucking with him so bad. It was great. But he looks like one of those guys that you can fuck with and like get inside their head real easily.
Yeah,
he looks like a guy that has a short temper.
I mean, he's like one of those guys. Yeah, like you said. I mean, he's shorter for his position. I feel like he has to kind of work harder than other players do. So he's just like one of those things that are constructed very lightly, but you can knock down really easily.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, so let's see if the Celtics are able to turn it around. It's not panic time at all. It just doesn't look like they're playing very well at this time. They still have plenty of time to turn it around. The probably on the opposite end of the spectrum, the New York Knicks. They're hot. They haven't lost since the All-Star break. I really do think like we're both big Tom Thibodeau guys. I really do think this team is like perfect for Tom Thibodeau. Mm-hmm. I think it's like it reminds me a little bit of like the 2011 Bulls. Like they have all these pieces, and they got they obviously don't have a Derrick Rose, but he got a Josh Hart. Mm-hmm. He got a Josh Hart, and I think he's got the whole package now. Julius Randle is his guy, his alpha, and yeah, I think he's got the situation he really needed.
Yeah, no, he learned from the Timberwolves. He needs to recreate the style of team from the Chicagos. He just didn't need to actually recreate the Chicago, 15 years later at the Timberwolves.
Right.
So if you remember that he re-signed all the players that he had at Chicago when they went on that run, but they were just all 10 years older.
Yeah.
So now he's got a team that's kind of reminiscent of the Chicago Bulls, but they're all in their primes.
They're young.
Yes.
Yeah, they're mid-20s. So I'm excited to see. I think this might be Tom Thibodeau's year. I don't think he'll make it to the finals because the East is just so fucking good, but. In Eastern Conference semifinals and possibly the Eastern Conference finals, I think that's easy.
Get his team some good playoff experience.
Yep. The Pels suck, and I think here's what sucks the worst. They're out. I think they're out of the play-in game right now. But here's what sucks the worst. We still have no timetable on Zion Williamson.
Nope.
Nobody knows. And they won't know until he gets reevaluated, and we don't know when he's going to get reevaluated. So we have no idea what's going on with any of it.
No.
Fortunately for us, the West is so tight still. It's so deep, so tight. There's still, I think, from the 6th seed on to the 13th seed is three games. I believe
you're correct.
Yeah, it's insane. So we can change it around. We just need to fucking do it. Let's see. The Dallas needs to. Okay, I think Dallas has the pieces. They just need they need to fucking play defense. I know Steve Adams has been out, which is no, he's on Memphis. I'm sorry. If you just watch, they let everybody into the paint. When the Suns played them, they just let Durant and Booker and all them score willy-nilly in the paint.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely something that they have to prioritize as far as getting that fixed up. Kyrie helped fix their offensive problems, but doesn't really help their defensive problems because Luka's not the greatest defender.
No, he's not. He hustles.
I mean, he hustles.
He tries, I guess.
And Kyrie's not known for his superb defense.
He'll get some steals, but other than that, yeah, he's not going to lock anybody down.
Yeah, exactly. So, they definitely need to fix that up a little bit.
Speaking of the Suns, they look like they're putting it together. They're going to be a scary team in the playoffs. I still don't think they're going to get past the Denver Nuggets. I just think nobody has an answer for Nikola Jokic, but they're going to be. They'll get somewhere.
They're showing that they definitely look like what they can be whenever they traded for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they're gelling. What else you got? You got anything else on the NBA?
I think that's about it. We'll probably get more as we get closer to the.
A lot of, like I said earlier at the beginning of the show, this was a big combine episode. Next week we'll have a lot more basketball, mostly college, but we'll have a lot more NBA as well. Let's get to our new segment, Life Without Football. We'll go through this one pretty quick. Like I said earlier, the combine was nice. It was a little bit of it was like when a heroin addict is or a drug addict is trying to recover. They quit it all.
Okay.
They take Suboxone.
Suboxone.
Yeah, and that's supposed to help with their urges. I think that's what the combine was for us. We just
Okay.
we took the combine and it helped with our football withdrawals.
Okay.
And just like a drug addict takes Suboxone to help with their urges. So yeah, that was nice. Yeah, the golf is getting started and basketball's heating up. So like college basketball is heating up. So that's what I've been doing. I also did. I quit drinking for Lent. I gave it up for Lent. I'm using this time to train and prepare for a triathlon.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, that was good. And then I realized that this is the worst time of the year in South Louisiana to quit drinking because every day down here is a day drinking day.
Yes.
The weather is so nice the end of February, March, and the beginning of April. It is so fucking perfect. 75 degrees, sunny, just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm sober.
Yeah, it doesn't play right into it as well as you probably would hope.
No, that was so I'm kind of miserable. Life without football is even more tough. So
Yeah.
that I decided to quit drinking. So yeah, that's about what's going on in my life. I'm speaking of the withdrawals. I'm like fiending. Yeah. Hey, I'll be getting my summer body ready, so that'll be nice.
Yes. So life without football has been, there's been a lot of contemplation for me. I've been able to like kind of discover like different things, like why people do different things.
Oh, do tell.
So like, St. Patty's Day, I understand why it's such a drinking holiday, now you don't drink during like, your Sundays through football. You have to find excuses to drink.
Oh, so they just make up shit.
Yeah, so that's how St. Patty's Day became such a big drinking holiday because, people are without football, they're looking for an excuse to, drink for some other occasion. St. Patty's Day. That's how it came.
So it like built up. So like when football ended, people didn't know when to drink. So they were drinking on random days and they weren't drinking. They were abstaining, and then it finally all built up. It was pent up frustration, and then they all took it out on St. Patty's Day.
Yep, and same could be said for Cinco de Mayo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a relapse.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because Cinco de Mayo is just the 5th of May. That's all it is.
It really is.
It doesn't make any sense why we drink on
it doesn't even have it's not even a fancy name. It's just in Spanish.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a date in Spanish. It doesn't make any sense. So it's like this is just this shows us as a society we're just alcoholics. We're making up new reasons to drink.
And I'm pretty sure that wasn't our holiday. We just took it.
We stole it.
We stole it.
Classic America. Jesus. Just taking other people's idea and pretending it's our own.
Right.
Yeah. What else are you doing on your life without football?
Life without football, I contemplated. I figured out that pickleball has sprung from lack of football. It's not a combination of ping pong and tennis.
Oh, that's so. Contrary to popular opinion, pickleball just sprouted out of boredom.
Yeah, it just sprouted out of not watching football, being able to watch football.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm okay with it because I love pickleball. That's just fun as fuck.
Right. And I think some people, for my next one, I think some people have got on to, are getting on kind of saying like, oh, y'all saying life without football, but, the XFL. So I considered watching the XFL.
I did not.
But I'm just going to wait until the XFL USFL merger happens. Because it's going to happen.
It's bound to happen.
It's got to.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. They got both leagues have 8 teams right now, which is like little. But if they had merged together and they have 16 teams,
now you're speaking my language.
now you got a league.
Yeah, and you can make brackets. Mm-hmm. And as we've said, that's what we understand.
We understand brackets.
That's it. Yeah. So I need enough teams to be able to make a bracket.
And I don't want half of the teams that are in the playoffs. I don't want half the teams in the playoffs.
No, me neither.
I don't want most of the teams be able to have the consolation prize of going into the playoffs. Like, yeah, this should be a prestigious thing.
It's almost like the NBA is too many teams. Mm-hmm. There's too many teams. It's like more than half of each conference.
So yeah. And then the other thing you could do with life without football is you can flash your gun on IG Live or, in front of some kids playing Nerf guns.
Yeah. Dude, he would have been better off taking the fucking water gun from the iMessage emoji.
Yeah.
And flashing that.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. All right. So life without football. Hopefully, people are managing a lot better than we are. All right. Let's breeze through college basketball because we're gonna have a huge segment on it next week. Major conference tournaments start tomorrow. I'm really pumped about that. I did some practice. I picked the Southeastern Conference tournament.
Okay.
I got Bama winning it all.
Gotcha.
So we're practicing. I'm working on it. Let's see. The teams that punched their tickets so far are Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. That's a real name. Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yep, they were 4-22 last year.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice turnaround season for
Great
him.
turnaround season. Let's see who that coach is. Might need to see who that is.
He's in contention for Coach of the Year.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Good deal. He'll get a major deal. Southeast Missouri State Redhawks, UNC Asheville, Drake. Drake's in there.
Drake made it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's impressive. I thought he was playing for Kentucky. Kennesaw State, they made it. It's their first time in the big dance.
Yep.
They'll probably get smashed by a number 1 seed.
And they're 3 years removed from a one-win season.
Ooh, a 1-win season? That's tough.
Yeah. He's also in consideration for Coach of the Year.
The Furman Paladins, I love that. The Paladin is such a great mascot.
It is.
It's awesome. I love it. Paladins. And last but not least, our Ragin' Cajuns, baby. UL Lafayette Ragin' Cajuns.
Yep.
I'm pretty pumped. They beat your alma mater, unfortunately. University of South Alabama lost to the Ragin' Cajuns in the Sun Belt Conference Championship. It was a sad day. I was kind of rooting for South Alabama just because it's so fun to chant USA, USA, and then it's their South's in your mouth, baby.
And then South in your mouth, too.
Yeah, that would have been fun. South in
We
your
got
mouth.
some fun chants.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, the Ragin' Cajuns won. I'll be rooting for the Ragin' Cajuns for sure. I don't know anything about their team.
No, I don't know too much. I think the last time they went to the tournament, they had that speedster point guard. I forgot what his name was. He played in the league for quite some time. He was the one that had the kind of the crazy hairdo. That looked like it was flashed in or covered in his eyes. I'd have to look it up.
Anyways, so yeah, those are the teams that punched the ticket. The last thing I have on college basketball, we had Antoine Davis. I figured out who the Titans are.
Okay.
Detroit Mercy.
Detroit Mercy.
That's the college. Yeah, it's tiny. He finished his career 3 points shy of breaking the total points record.
3 points.
Held by our boy, Pistol Pete Maravich, baby.
Yep.
I just want to just let the audience know because Pistol Pete he played years, decades and decades ago. Mm-hmm. I want everybody to know how good Pistol Pete was. So this Antoine Davis guy, he scored 3,664 points. This was over a span of 5 years and 144 games.
Yep.
Not bad, right? Pistol Pete scored 3,667 points. Only 83 games over a 3-year span.
Yep, because freshmen couldn't play.
Freshmen couldn't play back then. 3 years, 83 games, beat this guy who played for 5 years, 144 games. Oh, but there's more. Guess what? Pistol Pete didn't have a fucking three-point line.
Wow.
Pistol Pete only shot twos.
Yep.
The dude is nasty. He's a legend of the game. He changed the game. He's the reason why he started the dribbling in between the legs, the crazy behind the head passes, all of the behind the back dribbles and everything. He's the reason he made basketball fun.
Yes.
Pistol Pete made basketball fun, and he was nasty. He was so fucking good.
Yep.
So, anything else in college basketball?
That's about it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot more coming up next week. At this time, the NCAA tournament will start. We'll have our brackets set. You can laugh at us for our picks because we will not do well. Promise. We never do. No matter how much we study, right, Joe?
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Let's see. Other sports news. The Players Tournament's coming up. That officially starts golf season. We had the Arnold Palmer last week. Who won it? Kurt Kitayama?
Yeah, Kurt Kitayama.
Nice. But yeah, Rory McIlroy came in. He tied for second. He's playing very good ball. That dude smashes drives unlike anybody in the league right now. And he'll be one of the very few players to win multiple players championships if he wins next week. So I'll be looking forward to that. Anything else you got on other sports news around the league? Around the U.S.?
I think that's about it.
All right. I have this little... I'll leave everybody with this little stat. So, in June of 1974, Nolan Ryan threw 235 pitches against the Boston Red Sox. That's one game. He made his next start on 3 days rest and won. Then, he pitched for 19 more years. The fucking pitch count for these goddamn pussy-ass pitchers is just, it's astounding how terrible it is. Like, come on. Just stop being little bitches. So, yeah, stop being little bitches. That's what I'm going to leave y'all with.
Nice.
All right, we will see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.